Point Collective, Indie Christian Culture. Eric Boston here with my guy King David the Vessel. And we are actually right now, what we're doing is we are doing a test run of Restream Studio. So we've been using Restream for a while. But we've been using kind of some third party stuff as well to be doing the live streams. And Restream has their own in browser studio. So this is my first go of it. Please be kind to me because usually our guy Zero is the one who is, kind of running the production side of these streams. But like I said, this is just test anyway. So here we are. KD, what's good, man?
You got it, bro. Hanging out on a impromptu Friday night.
Right?
It looks like we're live, so that's a good thing, you know.
Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, man, a couple of, just housekeeping notes, I guess. Some stuff that's happened this week around the platform. We dropped the new episode of the podcast. So that came out on Tuesday. So if you haven't heard that, go check it out. Good conversation with Joe Hinkle about, filmmaking. He just dropped his first independent short film. And then let's see what else. Oh man, we announced the finalists for the Dot Wave Maker Awards. So if you haven't caught that yet, you can go hear it on the podcast, or you can go to 520collective.com where we have those posted as well. And we're going to be doing some more stuff to shout that out over the next little bit here. And we also talked about Elon Musk and Twitter on the podcast. And apparently, we maybe should have waited because there's been more happening over the last 24 hours or so, dude, man. Like people losing their minds out here.
They're panicking, bro.
Yeah, man. So
anarchy.
yeah. It's crazy, but I don't want to get into that because I know at some point Zero is gonna want to be on here. He was supposed to join us, but he got some stuff that had to have his attention. But I know that he's gonna want to talk about the craziness that's because it's just elevating, man. It's just elevating. So, but however, since we are kind of testing all this out, I did want to try out sharing the screen and doing all that good stuff. So this is from a few months ago. So some people may be, familiar with it. This is Jordan Peterson, and this is his video, A Message to the Christian Churches. Have you seen this, KD?
Actually, I have not.
Oh, man. Well, we're not going to play the whole thing, so I won't ruin it for you. But we're going to listen to what he says in the last 30 seconds because I think it's part of the, one of the most powerful things that he said. And it might make you want to listen to the rest. I don't know. But let us try this out, man. Hold on now. Come on.
Your churches, for God's sake. Fight social justice. Quit saving the bloody planet. Attend to some souls. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your holy duty. Do it now, before it's too late. And the hour is nigh.
So there you go, David. What do you think, man?
I don't want to give a knee-jerk reaction. Boy. Yo, what up? 7 from Adam chiming in. I see you, bro. I don't want to give a knee-jerk reaction, man, to that last 30 seconds, but I will say this, and there's a lot, and this is probably a large part of the chasm that exists between, for lack of a better term, evangelicals and the rest of the church, the church. And I'm not talking about, Catholicism, all of these different entities, Lutherans, Methodists. Well, I'm not speaking. I'm talking about the church of God, the church of the firstborn, the church of Jesus Christ, the bride of Christ. One of the biggest chasms that exists between, unfortunately, those two entities is the lack of understanding that in a lot of instances, fighting for social justice is also um, going after souls. But I think that there's a way that it has to be done. Jesus was for social justice. And we go back into scripture and we take a look at that. Jesus was against the disparity in classes. One of the things that salvation does in relationship with God does is it levels the playing field. Okay. Or for the saint of God, it gives you the advantage where naturally the world isn't designed for you to have that. But I think a lot of times we want to narrow Christianity and the Bible, for that matter, down to just the difference between heaven and hell, and that's inaccurate. There's a life to be lived once you get saved. So once you give your life to Jesus, once you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth, there's a life to be lived after that. And part of that, so when the Bible talks about understanding what God desires and requires from us to walk humbly, to love mercy. Okay, these are things that involve or have to do with social justice. And so I think, and again, I don't, like I said, I don't want to knee jerk based on those last couple of seconds. Now, if his point is solely the focus should be solely on that in terms of marching and protesting and stuff like that, then I would agree with that, because again, the scripture gives us to know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Our fight is in the spiritual, not in the natural, but the result should penetrate to the natural. But we fight the natural and we ignore the spiritual, and we shouldn't be doing that. But if that's his point, to say, hey, don't focus solely on that. Why you out here marching? Why you out here, giving speeches that don't have anything to do with scripture? If that's what he's saying, then I would agree with that. But again, when we're painting things and we're making statements and stuff like that, and a video gives you an opportunity to convey what a post or a tweet may not, because of the character limits, then you need to make sure that there is some explanation and a holistic view of your statement. Because again, salvation has a lot to do with social justice, even though it's a spiritual thing. But God has planned and prepared to encompass so much, and to make sure that we're provided for in every level and on every area and every playing field of life. And so I just hate to take that small little soundbite, but if the intent is the way that I'm interpreting it, then I would disagree, because that's a part of what we're doing. Fighting for souls is actual, social justice, going out, witnessing, outreaching. Those things pertain to social justice. It's not just us going in, trying to impact legislation and have laws created, and again, protesting these types of things. But a lot of salvation, Christianity, kingdom does deal with social justice. So my bad. I think I rambled, but again, there's kind of like a lot to unpack with that statement.
Yeah, no, man, you're good. So I've seen the whole video, and honestly, that little last 30 seconds is kind of different than what the majority of the video is. It's really good. I do think what he's talking about, though, is the fact that we've allowed all of this stuff to take our focus away from all of this over here.
Got it.
That should be the priority.
Then I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah. But that's that's kind of a dangerous thing to say in the current social climate, right? Even within the church. And what's crazy about it, man, is to hear Jordan Peterson, who I'm not sure exactly where he's at faith-wise, because
I was just gonna say I don't know anything about him, about his salvation. I don't know anything about him.
So he is crazy smart, right? Just crazy smart, and he's part of the Daily Wire, and everything going on there. I don't know that he would necessarily say he is a Christian, but I think he's very in tuned with it, and he's very intrigued by it, like from a intellectual place.
From a student standpoint, and
Yeah,
not from a lifestyle. So then that would make him
but
more of a theologian than an actual.
yeah, but I mean, I think he's hooked with Christianity enough that I don't think there's any way he can get away from it or avoid it. You know, if that makes sense. Like,
Well,
but the
if
thing
that's the
about it,
case,
at the
then
end of
my
the
prayer would
day,
be that he dives all the way in there, because now there's a level of accountability for what you know or for what you believe that you know. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, then I would pray his
yeah,
complete submission to it and allegiance. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just it's interesting to me when you see guys like this who are so smart, and they are saying stuff that the the believer that the body should be saying, but are
right,
afraid to say, and it's like they're not even invested in it, right?
right, like they should be. Right, exactly.
Yeah, but well, I mean, like Jordan Peterson, if he's not actually a believer, like I said, I don't know where he stands. I know he talks on it a lot, but if he's not, then he's not fully invested in it, right? But it's important for him. He sees, or I guess he said he sees the importance of it enough to
Mhm.
speak to the Christians, right?
Right, right.
And it's like, man, if it makes that much sense to him, why isn't it the same for all of us all the time? You know what I'm
So,
saying?
well, let me say this part then. So it's kind of six in one hand, half a dozen in the other, right? So here again, and this is if. And so I don't want anybody to say carte blanche. This is what he said, and this is dead wrong. If he is in fact just enamored with the idea of salvation, but not with the lifestyle that comes with it, you have to take these critiques then with a grain of salt. Yes, there are instances where, and it should not be, but there are times when God will use someone outside of a certain situation or circumstance to bring sobriety to the individuals who are in it or are supposed to be engaged with it, or carriers of that particular belief or what have you, that commission. And so to that end, a lot of times we don't want to respect those types of things because we feel as though this is a person coming from the outside. But sometimes because we're too close or we're too comfortable, we don't see the urgency with which things need to be approached. The other thing is, if you're not actually a part of it, a lot of times you don't know everything that's going on. You have just that, an outside view, and you have no intimate detail in that part. So again, like I said, these criticisms are six in one hand, half a dozen in the other when it comes down to those types of things. I'm a strong advocate for the church in its desired intent. And so I truly believe that there's a lot of criticism that goes out about Christianity, about salvation, about the church, what it is or isn't doing. I see too many people who are supposed to be a part of the church bashing the church and who don't offer any solution. A lot of individuals who aren't fully invested um, in the church being what the church is supposed to be, but have a lot to say about the state and or condition of the church, which is very disappointing. But again, we understand the days and the times that we're in. Like you mentioned earlier, if you got thumbs, you can have an opinion and everybody can read about it. But I've often said that, resolution, solution, reconciliation, those are things that happen from inside. And so, and I hate to use this term because I don't agree with the theology, but reform and legislation and things of that nature have to take place from the inside. And so, in order to do that, you have to be a part of what's going on in order to, again, fully understand what is and isn't happening, and then what it takes to address situations and circumstances. The other thing that I want to say is this, because you mentioned this earlier. Um, Again, I would pray that there's a better idea and a full understanding of this, because if I tell the church to not be concerned with social justice, and that means that I'm basically telling the church to not speak on certain societal ills that may be the fruit of sin. And if I'm addressing sin as a church and as we should be doing, then there's certain things we need to speak on. We need to speak about injustice. We need to speak about when individuals are murdered unjustly, even if they're a sinner. Their lifestyle wasn't right, but what happened to them wasn't right. Does the end justify the means? In accordance to God's justice, maybe, but we're not God. But if it was still wrong, we have to address that. We have to speak on things like racism. Why? Because it's a part of what is tugging at the hearts of the people that God has commissioned us to go out and minister to. So these are things that we have to address. We cannot turn. So if you're telling me to turn a blind eye and then go out here and just simply minister to individuals without taking into consideration things that they're concerned about, then that's an ignorant stance and approach. Because now it's just, let me give you this Jesus, and Jesus is concerned about what you're going through, but I'm not concerned about what you're going through. So I'm going to ignore all of that and just simply tell you, you need to get saved, but not explain to you why, and on a practical level, break it down so that you connect with it and it can connect with you.
Yeah, man. So,
I know that was I mean, I wasn't even planning on that, man.
No, you're good, dude. We need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we didn't get on here to have a like an hour-long conversation because, again, we're testing this stuff out. It seems to be going pretty well, but I mean, it's pretty good. We may have to think about leaving this video up. You know what I'm saying? Because KD's doing his thing.
Man, stop.
Oh, but yeah, man.
You shouldn't have played that clip, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, that's but I'll tell you this, man, and for anyone watching, you know, we're definitely, I think, gonna be able to dive into some stuff. So, you know, as a platform, we kind of get together about this time of the year. We kind of talk about, you know, what has gone on over the course of this current year, and we look ahead to the next year, right? So as we have been talking about 2023, you know, one thing that we have said is we want to try to be on here, you know, and go live on a more regular basis, be able to connect with people a little better, just as a platform. And so I think, you know, you'll see some of this stuff where we find an interesting clip and we maybe look at it and respond to it for a little while. You know, we definitely got some, you know, interviews coming up. You guys have been seeing those. Last week we had Cephas and Zadok on here. Man, coming up Monday night, we're going to be live with D Black. So make sure you guys tune in for that Monday night, about 8 p.m. Central Time. You can actually go to the YouTube channel right now. There is a, you can click the button there for the upcoming stream, and you'll get notified when that's going down. But yeah, man, lots of good stuff, man. And you know, I think the thing when you and I get together, Katie or with Zero or whoever, you know, there's good conversation, man. We love the people that come out with us. Oh, hey, look at this. Zero's watching, and he says the stream looks good. So there you go. What up, Zero? I get in here with us, man. Come on. I mean, if you want to. If you do, the link is in the chat. So, but yeah, and we got some news. We got some stuff in the works, man. We're getting ready to add another kind of social media element to the platform. So y'all be paying attention to that. Maybe as soon as tomorrow, if me and Picasso can get together and get one thing kind of squared away for when we are, or that we're needing to do in order to really drop that and get it out there to the public. So
dope. Lots going on, lot happening. Definitely a good time to jump in and be in tune, man, with 520, man. And shout out to the finalists, because a lot of the finalists are I follow a couple on social media. A lot of those guys are finalists for Dot Wavemaker Awards for 2022. A lot of the finalists are promoting and pushing the fact that they, you know, made the finals. And there's a lot of people who are asking, hey, is there going to be a live award show? And so already there's a lot of promotion that's being done for the Dot Wave Maker Awards. I saw some posts today where people are letting us know, hey, yeah, there's going to be one, and it's going to be on the Track Stars YouTube channel. So stay tuned for more details about that, guys. There's a lot of good things going on with the platform.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, appreciate the people that have hung out with us. Oh, let's see. Zero says, I'm on the road. We're about to move a piano. Pray, man, you made the choice to move that piano, sir. Okay, so
no, he might have got pulled into it, man.
I don't believe it.
Pulled into it.
I don't believe he could come up with an excuse, So,
bro, hang in there. Lift with your legs, man. Lift with your legs.
But yeah, man, KD, man, thanks for hanging out. Shout out to everyone that checked out us just kind of testing this out. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll leave the video up. I was planning on just taking it down, but I mean, you said some good stuff, man, that people may need to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. Somebody might stumble across this.
Right? So, all right. So, yeah, guys, again, Monday night, D Black, YouTube, Twitter will be live. Tune in with that. Go to the website, 520club.com. Check out the finalists for the Dot Wave Maker Awards and be keeping your eyes out for some new stuff coming. Let's go.